and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordis, joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime. It is Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Lots
Yes.
of candy going around.
Yeah, I'm sure all of our students are having fun today. Very active day. Tomorrow is a day being an elementary teacher is very difficult.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of pockets filled with some goodies and treats.
A lot of sugar-loaded students the next couple days.
But we're going to make it because we need it. We are now getting ready to enter into November.
Yes, big shout out before we get going. The data entry for the school year that our administrators and some of our teachers and a lot of our staff take care of, that has a lot to do with our state aid and our financial situation. For whatever reason, there was a lot of difficulties with this year. The State Department had some issues. OMES had, just the websites and some of those things that go on, those glitches they hit. Our people have really worked hard on that, and hopefully that's all wrapped up today so we can get past that.
Well, and it's is exciting because we have a lot of great things that our schools and staff are doing, and now we can put that to the side, which reminds me, before we get into the end of the paperwork, we are doing an implementation of rooms. Do you want to share why we started with rooms?
One thing is when we got into the pandemic, communication is, we do the podcast for communication, we work with communication. We have our website where you can email. We call it Thrill Share for our staff members, where it comes into emails where we as administrators, teachers, and different people get emails from the community, where parents. We just have a lot of platforms out there. And one of the things we've been challenged by parents and teachers and other people is, how do we get it on one platform where you don't have to learn how to use 6 different platforms to communicate with your coach, your teacher, your principal, your administration, or whoever. So that's what Rooms is, one platform. Go ahead, tell us more about it.
Sure, and then we're going to have it unveiled to our families. It's a slow implementation because we're in the middle of the school year, but you'll start to get an email and just invited by your student's teacher. So if you get those, please accept them, and we're going to work through the year just to try to have that unified platform and then be ready for next year.
Again, communication's what we're all about. We know that making parents full partners is one of our number one goals, and so this is to help with that. And speaking of goals, the other thing we're going to really try to enact and push is, if you'll remember, we talked quite a bit about it last year. We implemented a strategic plan, and we're going to wait to really roll that out full force until we got through with all this paperwork. Well, the delay in the paperwork has delayed the strategic plan, but this is things we're going to start meeting, and you should hear a lot more about the strategic plan. A lot of our teachers, administrators, community members, it was a community effort to put together this plan for the educators, for the school, for Lawton Public Schools, and what we want to look like the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and we're very excited to move forward with our strategic plan.
And that full report is on our website under Community tab, the LPS strategic plan. So anybody can go out there and see what we're looking forward to and when our meetings will start happening, and then what they can share for goals and objectives.
Yep. Then November brings a day that's very important in the Lawton area. It's nationwide. It's important for all of us. Veterans Day. Very excited. One thing here at Lawton we do, because there are so many activities and so many students and parents are involved in various activities, attendance was really low on Veterans Day, so Lawton Public Schools made Veterans Day one of their school holidays. And then one thing we do to partner with that, to give our families extra time, is we put a virtual day or a remote day in there with it. And one thing that we want to talk to our families about, we've learned to do with our remote days. If you notice, back when we went to school, there was always a lot of professional development days worded into the calendar. One thing we've learned to do is we can use our remote days to help with professional development and give some targeted and continuous professional development to teachers who need it, and continue to work on virtual and remote instruction. So we're expanding our use of those remote days as a district, and they're really being very strategically located and working really great for us.
Which is a great reminder for everybody to mark their calendars, because this is going to happen next week. Thursday's our virtual day, and then Friday we are off for Veterans Day.
So from the sense of the students and families, you get a 4-day weekend. For our staff, it's just a 3-day weekend because everybody will work on Thursday.
Absolutely. We have a lot of great things going on in our buildings. We had a little break between you and I because we had our student panel, and that was
awesome.
Wonderful to hear from.
It's always amazing because as a superintendent, the larger school I've moved to, the more distanced you get from the students. Well, education's really about students. And the students they should be driving what we're doing and how we're engaging them and what are we providing. People hear me all the time say we're going to create opportunities. Well, it needs to be their opportunities and what they would look for in opportunities, or what opportunities they're interested in for their future, not what I'm interested in. So very good to talk to students. And we also got a chance to talk to a Medal of Honor winner, which was just such an honor or so amazing to have him here for that time.
And for our families and viewers out there that missed the podcast with our students, we have both. The first one with our young ladies and then our gentlemen last week, both on our YouTube page.
Yes.
So you can go out there and look at that. We also had some great accomplishments by our volleyball teams at MacArthur. You want to share?
Yeah, our high school girls, they got to the semifinals, so that was the round of, there was only 4 teams left, and they lost to the Mount St. Mary's, but it was a great year for the MacArthur volleyball team.
And then we have our unified partners volleyball team, and they went up there and played as well and placed third. They got
very
bronze.
Excited. So that was a great weekend a great week for MacArthur volleyball, and we're big shout out to them and all the hard work and effort all of those youngsters put in to accomplish the goals that they accomplished.
And our bands, right before the weather was really bad, and right after too, went and competed across our region. So that's been exciting to hear them practicing and going out there and performing and seeing how they do.
A lot of students doing a lot of things, and that's one of the things when we encourage opportunities, we want to create as many extracurricular activities and opportunities as well for students, because there's a lot of research out there that shows students that are involved in extracurricular activities, athletics, arts, band, esports now, the many various things we have that we offer, they're more successful later in life. So we want to do everything we can to offer the things that interest students so that we can get all of our students involved in extracurricular activities.
And you brought up esports. I heard they did 8 hours of streaming in their last competition, and then they went up to Altus, and they've been working with OU, with the college team. So a lot of great things for them and opportunities for scholarships as they move forward.
I heard we dominated too. Very good. I think our esports are very successful, and so it's exciting to see the hard work they're putting into, because, again, 5 years ago, if somebody said, you're going to have an esports team, I said, we're not going to have an esports team. We're getting old, we're getting old. But it's a booming sport, and it's something people are looking for, and there's a lot of job opportunities that go with those esports people for drones and operators and different in various things. So exciting that it's become a huge part of Lawton Public Schools.
And look aheads for our district. We know we have Fall Festival. Actually, today, LVA, our virtual families are going to get to go out to Douglas and have a little fun before the activities tonight. And they have a Fall Festival for Lawton High as well.
So very exciting. Get on your local calendars. Make sure if you're in elementary, you're checking your backpacks for your calendars and your newsletters or your emails, and make sure you know what's going on. One thing our staff does a great job of is a lot of activities and involvement, giving parents and students the opportunities to be involved in school activities.
American Indian and Alaskan Heritage Month is also in November, and we're going to celebrate that. So there'll be some great activities that come out, and our students can participate in there. And are there any other highlights that you want to share out with our families?
Just, again, football's wrapping up. We're in the last week of football season. I know Lawton's right there. Lawton High is on the verge of making the playoffs and even getting the opportunity to host a playoff game. MacArthur's going to be a big game this Friday night that shows whether they get in the playoffs or not, so get out there and cheer them on. And, Eisenhower's, they've had a few injuries this year, but they're young, and we've seen some strides there and look for great things for them next year, but cheer them on as they wrap up their season.
Mr. Hime, will you give them our email address and website?
Yes, if you've got questions or comments, info@lawtonps.org. We look at that all the time, looking for things, and we look for things to answer and special guests to bring to our podcast and other ways to communicate with you. So again, info@lawtonps.org. Again, our webpage is lawtonps.org. So that's 2 ways you can get in contact with us. And again, when you look at our webpage, one thing we ask is get some feedback from the webpage. We try to make it as user-friendly and click-friendly as we can, but we need some feedback. What are you looking for? What can't you find? How can we better align the webpage? Because only so many things can be one click away. So the hope is that the things that we have one click away are those things that are the most coveted or things used the most.
Mr. Hime, thank you so much for your time. I know we have a lot of great things going on. We're already into November. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas time. You know, we'll have winter break. I'm excited for what's happening with our kids and our students, and I am thankful for your time today. So
thank you.
Yeah,
Until next week.
That's right. You guys be well, stay safe, make positive impacts, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.